1. A youngster rushed into the country store and shouted, "My dad was fixing the roof and the ladder slipped out from under him and he is hanging from the eaves." The manager of the store said, "Okay, son, we'll rescue him." Then he yelled at all the fellows sitting around the store, "Hey, let's go. On the double, everybody, before he gets too tired and has to turn loose." But before they could move, the youngster said, "Before you run too fast, will you please help me put some film in my camera?" 2. When the man answered the phone, the voice on the other end said, "Mr. Jones, this is Les Henderson's garage. Your wife just drove into the garage a few minutes ago to have a new air conditioner hose installed and I was calling to ask if you are going to pay for. ... Yes, Jones said, interrupting the caller, "I'll pay for the hose. Just send me the bill." "Oh," the voice said, "I'm not calling about the air condi on her hose. Your wife already paid for that. I want to know if you intend to pay for the side of my garage that she knocked out when she drove in."
3. A crew was unloading a tank car of highly explosive chemicals when it exploded. 2 men were killed and half a dozen were knocked unconscious. As the ambulance attendants were carrying one of the men on a stretcher, he regained consciousness. Just as he did, his hand fell over the side of the stretcher. Feeling nothing but air, he let out a great moan and said, "Oh, my God! I haven't even hit ground yet."
4. A man was injured in an accident aboard a bus, and his friends told him that he should sue for damages. "I don't want any damages," he said. "I've been damaged enough. What I want is repairs."
5. A Hollywood actor had been called into court as a witness. When he was asked to identify himself, he gave his name and said, "I am probably one of the world's greatest actors." On the way home from the trial, his wife said to him, "Why in the world did you have to brag like that? It would have been much more becoming if you had been more modest." "I understand what you mean," he said. "And ordinarily I wouldn't have said such a thing. But in this case I was under oath." 6. A patrolman arrived at the scene of an accident to find a woman lying unconscious a few feet from an automobile. A small crowd had gathered and a man was trying feverishly to revive the woman. "Who was driving this car?" the patrolman asked. "I was," said the man who was helping the woman. "How did you hit her?" the patrolman asked. "Oh, I didn't hit her," the man said. "As I approached the intersection I saw that she was trying to cross the street. So I stopped for her and she fainted."
7. Supper was over. The father of the house and his 9-year-old son were in the living room watching television. Mother and daughter were in the kitchen washing up the supper dishes. Suddenly father and son heard a terrible crashing sound of something being broken in the kitchen. They waited for a moment in shock but didn't hear a sound. "It was Mom who broke the dish," the boy said. "How do you know?" his father asked. "Because," his son said, "she isn't saying anything." 8. The judge was trying a case against an insurance company. A man who had been walking along a country road was struck and injured by an automobile. The attorney for the insurance company was trying to convince the jury that the driver of the car was not at fault. He said the plaintiff was obviously in the wrong. The driver of the car is a careful driver. He has been driving a car for more than 25 years and has never had an accident. I think that tells the story. And, on that, we rest our case. Wonderful, shouted the lawyer for the plaintiff. If you are basing this case on experience, I would remind you that my client has been walking for 60 years.